Hey guys, it's Michael Kummer here. In today's video I want to share with you the best 4 diets for weight loss. Now, one thing that I want to mention is that weight loss is the natural byproduct of a healthy metabolism. So I want to talk briefly about the 12 things that good weight loss diets have in common, because all of those 12 factors contribute to improving your metabolism and to make it easier for you to lose weight. I'm not going to go into the details of all of those 12 factors. Please check out my blog post that I'm going to link down below to learn more about this. I just want to mention them. Before we continue, I'd like to thank Element for sponsoring this video. Element is by far my favorite electrolyte supplement. Not only is it incredibly delicious, but it contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium without any of the junk that my body doesn't need, including fillers, flow agents, artificial colors, and sweeteners, etc. I use Element strategically on days where I sweat a lot. For example, when I go workout, when I'm in the sauna, or when I build a chicken coop in the backyard. On those days, I may lose up to 7 grams of sodium, and if I don't replenish that, my physical and mental performance go down the drain, and I may experience common symptoms of electrolyte deficiency, including muscle cramps, headaches, sleeplessness, etc. Right now, Element is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serving packets, free with any order. It's a great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/michaelkummer. This deal is only available through my link, so you have to go to drinkelement.com/michaelkummer. Now back to the video. Number 1. A healthy diet that's good for weight loss improves your insulin and leptin sensitivity. Number 2. It helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels. Number 3. It's devoid of inflammatory foods and toxins. Number 4, it provides enough protein to maintain healthy and lean muscle tissue and to grow new muscle tissue. Number 5, it's high in healthy fats to keep you satiated and fueled. Number 6, it has ample amounts of highly bioavailable and readily absorbable micronutrients, that is vitamins and minerals. Number 7, it relies predominantly on whole foods. Number 8, it doesn't rely on expensive weight loss shakes or protein bars and ready-to-eat meals. Number 9, it should be sustainable for the rest of your life if you choose so. Number 10, it doesn't require calorie counting or portion control. Number 11, it mimics how humans have eaten for millions of years as part of your evolution. And number 12, it doesn't make you feel hungry or hangry in between meals. Now, with those factors out of the way, let's talk about my 4 diet recommendations for weight loss. Number 1 is the carnivore diet. And the carnivore diet consists of meat, eggs, and depending on who you ask, certain types of dairy like aged cheeses that don't have any carbohydrates and in particular lactose. Now you may think, well, a carnivore diet is relatively restrictive. You can only eat meat, eggs, and maybe aged cheese. That doesn't sound like fun. And it is a very restrictive diet, and that's actually one of the downsides, but it's also one of the main advantages of the diet as far as weight loss is concerned. Number 1, because it's void of carbohydrates, and because it doesn't have any carbs, it's by definition a ketogenic diet. And what that does is it forces your body to learn how to efficiently burn fat instead of glucose from carbohydrates as a source of energy. And the good thing about that is once your body is efficient and proficient at burning fat, that fat doesn't have to come from dietary sources. The body can actually burn its own fat. And that's what helps you burn fat and lose weight. So if you think about it, when you don't eat, you're not getting hungry or hangry because you never run out of energy. There is plenty of fat among all of us. It doesn't matter how skinny you are, you have at least, I want to say, 20,000 calories worth of energy stored in the form of fat on your body. Of course, if you're overweight or obese, there is significantly more energy that body can burn and remain fueled even in the absence of food. And that's one of the key advantages of a carnivore diet, because when you're not eating in between meals, while you're sleeping, anytime you're not eating, the body can tap into its own fat stores and burn it for energy, and that significantly speeds up your weight loss effort. The second reason why I really like the carnivore diet is because it's void of any foods that could potentially irritate your gut, cause sensitivities, or have any sort of antinutrients or other toxins that are commonly found in many plant-based foods. So by removing all of those foods, you automatically also heal your gut improve your overall health, become metabolically not only flexible but also healthier, and that speeds up your weight loss effort. And so that's why I think the carnivore diet is the best diet to lose weight relatively quickly. The good news is you don't have to do a carnivore diet for the rest of your life if you don't want to. There are many people who do. There is, good examples like Dr. Shawn Baker. He has been on a pure carnivore diet for over 6 years and he's thriving. He is well built, he's healthy, he is full of energy. He's doing really, really well. So you can do well on a carnivore diet long term, but you don't have to. Once you have healed your gut, once you have metabolically healthy, once you have lost the weight that you wanted to lose, you can easily transition into some of the other diets that we're going to talk about in this video. Diet number 2 that I really like for weight loss is a ketogenic diet. Now, a ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet is actually a form of a ketogenic diet, but the traditional ketogenic diet allows for significantly more foods than a strict carnivore diet. So on a keto diet, you can have nuts and seeds and many types of veggies and low glycemic fruits such as berries. So it's significantly easier to maintain for many people. It's not such a strict diet, but it also teaches your body to burn its own fat for energy, to get into what's called ketosis. That's the metabolic state where your body is burning ketones or fatty acids as a source of energy instead of carbohydrates. The downside of a traditional ketogenic diet is that there are a lot of keto-friendly products out there that fit the right macro ratios, meaning they are low in carbs, high in fat, and have moderate or high amounts of protein, but they have ingredients that are not necessarily great in the long run for your overall health. I'm talking specifically about artificial sweeteners, nuts and seeds, and certain types of veggies that can potentially irritate your gut and cause issues that will likely impact your health in the long run and potentially then cause you to regain your weight. There is more wiggle room with the ketogenic diet. That's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because you can easily drift into what's called dirty keto, where you just eat low carb, high fat, but the types of fat you're eating are not great, and the carbs you're eating, even if they are not that many, aren't great either. If you start baking, ketogenic friendly cookies and this and that, you're consuming a lot of the foods that are likely not good for your gut and for your health. And that's why there is a lot of you need a certain amount of knowledge and experience with the ketogenic diet to do it right. But if done right, it's an excellent way to lose weight relatively quickly without feeling hungry and hangry in the process. Number 3 is an animal-based diet, and that's the diet that I'm currently on. So just to give you some background, I transitioned from removing all added sugars to a Paleolithic diet, to a ketogenic diet, to a keto-paleo diet, to a carnivore diet, and then I ended up on an animal-based diet. An animal-based diet is what I would say best reflects how humans have eaten throughout evolution. It's not very restrictive in terms of the carbohydrates you can eat. I mean, you can eat as many or as few carbs on an animal-based diet as you want to, but it's centered around animal-based foods, as the name implies. So muscle meat, organ meat, seasonal sweet fruits, and a few select non-toxic or the least toxic plants, meaning veggies in the most part. What I like about the animal-based diet is it's very much no-nonsense type of eating. It's relatively easy to eat animal-based in many different situations and social events, etc. It's also not very restrictive in terms of how many carbs you can eat. That's a good thing, especially if you want to maintain weight. But there is a risk if, again, you do it wrong, you consume significantly more carbs than what you should, that you negatively impact your weight loss efforts. That's why I ranked it number 3. I mean, it's the diet that I'm on. It's, I think, the ultimate human diet after all. But specifically, if you want to lose weight, I would probably go with a carnivore or ketogenic diet first before transitioning into an animal-based diet where you can have more carbs than during the time when you're actively trying to lose weight. Now, if you're wondering, okay, what exactly can I eat on a ketogenic diet or on an animal-based diet? I'm gonna link down below resources, food lists and beverage lists that I've created that you can download for free that shows you exactly what are the foods compatible on a well-designed ketogenic diet as well as on an animal-based diet. I don't have a food list for a carnivore diet because you only eat meat, eggs, and maybe some aged cheeses. So the food list is not very long, Everything else, you cannot have, but specifically for keto and for animal-based, I have those resources, so check them out down in the description. Number 4 in my list is the modern paleo, Paleolithic diet. That's actually the diet that I started on when I first thought more about, what I eat and how that impacts my health overall. The goal of the Paleolithic diet is to mimic how our ancestors have eaten for millions of years using modern foods. If you think about it, that's the perfect diet, right? Our ancestors weren't overweight, they were healthy, they lived as long as we did if you take childhood mortality out of the equation. It seems to make the most sense. However, the problem with the Paleolithic diet is that it allows for many different foods that are okay to have on occasion, but that are easily overdone. And I'm talking specifically about nuts and seeds, and paleo diet pretty much allows all the vegetables there are. It doesn't allow grains and legumes because our ancestors didn't have access to those, at least not in significant quantities. That was all before they started farming. So no grains and legumes and no dairy, but everything else is pretty much allowed. That's a good thing because it's very flexible. Paleolithic diet is very easy to maintain and to implement, and you can make pretty much any dish paleo friendly if you wanted to. The problem with the paleo diet is the longer you do it, the more you discover ways to make traditional dishes paleo friendly, and at some point you might end up having a meal that consists of sweet potato fries, a plate of veggies and nuts and seeds and all of those things that are paleo friendly without necessarily mimicking the amounts that our ancestors would have eaten of those foods, right? Nuts and seeds, they could be collected for sure, but our ancestors didn't bake, paleo cakes with 2 pounds of almond flour. And the problem with overdoing those foods is that, again, they can irritate your gut. They can negatively impact your metabolic health and as a result derail your weight loss efforts. And that's why I rank the paleo diet number 4, even though if well implemented can be an excellent tool for weight loss, but there is a lot of room for error, if you will, and it's easy to do it wrong and to negatively impact your weight loss efforts. So to sum it up, my recommendation would be to choose a dietary framework, and it can be a combination and mix of those 4 diets that I've explained to you. But I would recommend significantly reducing your carbohydrate intake in the beginning to become metabolically flexible and to teach your body how to efficiently and proficiently use and burn fat for energy. That's the number 1 thing that can significantly expedite your weight loss efforts without you feeling hungry or hangry or crappy, or without you having to significantly reduce your caloric intake and just feel like you're starving all the time. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments what I could have done better. Until next time.